Hey guys, how's it going? How's everybody doing out there tonight? Welcome back to some more streams. And don't know why I made this. Don't know why I decided to make this. I was just kind of feeling like talk about these movies out of the blue. Because believe it or not, I'm actually a pretty big fan of the series. Even though when we get into this, it might seem like I'm not. I actually do love at least a couple movies in this franchise a lot, and I really do get into them. And I give one of them a lot more credit than most people do, because one of the movies we're talking about today gets like zero credit and nobody talks about it at all. But yeah, welcome to the stream, Ghostface Voorhees. What's up, man? How you doing? How's your night going, bro? Tonight we're gonna be talking about some Return of the Living Dead. I gotta hold my microphone like this tonight. I feel like I'm cutting a promo here. Um, my mic stand broke last night, and that's one reason why I didn't do the stream last night. I was supposed to do it last night around 10:30, maybe 9:30. It was supposed to start tonight at like 9:30, but it ended up being pushed back. But this was supposed to happen yesterday, but my mic stand broke, and I was trying to figure out how to fix it, and the super glue didn't work. So I'm like, well, I'll stream. I'll just hold it in my hand like an old school mic, just talking into it like that. But how are you doing, man? That's you're doing good. That's good. That's good. Welcome to the stream, bro. But yeah, today I'm going to be talking about a franchise that I'm actually a pretty big fan of, and you guys can let me know your guys' favorite movies from the series in the comments. We can talk about the movies and get a little discussion going on here because today we are talking about the Return of the Living Dead. Now, not only are we talking about Return of the Living Dead, we're talking about the entire franchise. Now, I don't have all of them. I'm missing part two, but I do have most of them. Most of them here, and I have more than probably most people do of this film, particularly because not a lot of people get the later two, like the last two in the series. But yeah, talk about Return of the Living Dead. Of course, Return of the Living Dead came out right after. I mean, this came out the same exact year as Day of the Dead, and basically what it is George Romero had the rights to The Dead, and the guy that produced this had the rights to John Russo. He had the rights to Living Dead. Hey, what's up, what's up, man? How you doing, Play? How's it going, man? Talking about Return of the Living Dead tonight. Talking about not only Return of the Living Dead. Hey, True Horror Fanatic, how you doing? I just got done watching your review of Hills of Ice Part 2, so I really enjoyed it. It was a fantastic review, made some good points, and one day I'm going to actually do a commentary here on YouTube of my first time ever watching Hills of Ice Part 2. Figured it'd be a fun watch. I heard it was pretty bad, so we'll see how that is. But yeah, today talk about Return of the Living Dead, the entire series. You guys can let me know your thoughts on these movies as we go along. And I'll try to stay out of the spoiler zone. There's not really much you can spoil about these movies. I mean, most of them are very straightforward. You kind of know how they're going to go. They're zombie movies. You can kind of read zombie movies like off the back. But yeah, talk about real quick the movies I've seen today. Seen a couple movies today, actually. I seen a movie called Martyrs from 2008. And I got to say, Martyrs is a very dark movie. And I remember, like, after I was done watching it, it was like the first movie in a long time I was watching it. And I was just sitting there kind of like shocked after I got done seeing it. I was like, so True Horror Fanatic, I know you've seen a couple of disturbing movies out there. Martyrs from 2000, not the 2016 Martyr. That's the American Martyrs. The European Martyrs is the one you're looking for. That's pretty goddamn disturbing movie. I put up there with Cannibal Holocaust. I mean, just the sheer level of it is just really intense. Martyrs is just crazy fucking movie. You never seen these movies? Oh, dude, I'd recommend them, dude. There's actually some in here that I think you would really like. I really do. Ranger, what's up, man? Got some people coming from the JG stream. Hopefully, JG can be in here in a couple minutes. I think he's still streaming. Sorry, I couldn't with the entire stream. I kind of wanted to get this started at least by midnight. That's why I kind of jumped out real quick. But welcome to the stream, Ranger. Welcome to the stream, Horror Fanatic and Ghostface and Play Ridley. Welcome, 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 welcome. But yeah, I seen Martyrs. Really enjoyed it. Thought it was I thought it was a good horror film, but it's not really fun to watch. Machete, what's up, man? What's up, dude? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Talking about Return of the Living Dead. But yeah, dude, Martyrs is like, it was such a gut punch of a movie. And luckily, my friend John sent me, or he told me about this movie called what was it called? I forgot the name of it. I'm so sorry. I mean, I know the name of the other alternate title, but I wanted to get the actual name of it real quick. Oh man, criminally something. I don't know why I forgot the name of it, but Big Fat Ethel. That's the alternate title of it. But Criminally Insane. That's what it is. Criminally Insane is a movie I've seen as well, dude. I gotta tell you guys, it's a 1975 film, and it's one of the best bad movies I've ever seen in my entire life. There's literally scenes in the movie where she'll swing the slasher of the movie. She swings a meat cleaver, and she's like not even hitting people in the head. She hits the wall behind him, and you see blood squirt out, and it's like red paint. It's like amazing, and dude, it was just so good. Oh my god, I got a lot of comments here. So we got, I know, right? I'm trying to keep up. True Horror Fanatic, so many people. I agree, you got a lot of people here tonight. Chuck, what's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, I know I got a lot of people from the JG stream here. Really enjoyed that stream. It was very fun. I was gonna say the entire time, but I was gonna pretty much I had to get on here because I wanted to at least get this up by midnight. I want to get started by midnight. So Christian Bale has a badass Tommy Jarvis Haley Elite. That's pretty cool, Junebug. What's up, Junebug? How you doing? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Return of the Living Dead discussion here. So yeah, just to get into these movies, for ratings, I would give Martyrs a solid 8, and then I would give Criminally Insane, I would give that probably a 5. It's a bad movie, but dude, I swear to God, it's like Troll 2 of bad movies. It's such an entertaining watch. You guys got to see Criminally Insane, aka Big Fat Ethel. Such a bad but great movie. But yeah, today we're going to be getting into more brains. We're going to be getting into Return of the Living Dead, the series. Definitely comment in the live chat what's your guys' favorite. Some love the first movie the best. Some people like part 2. Some people love part 3. And hell, maybe there are people that enjoy the sci-fi movies that came out the exact same time. I don't know. We're going to find out as the review goes along. But to start off the review real quick, like I was saying before, John Russo had wanted to make his Return of the Living Dead movie for so long, and basically never got around to doing it. And this was kind of his answer to the Romero movies. Of course, by this time, Dawn of the Dead came out. I'm pretty sure there were other zombies, Lucio Fulci stuff. So John Russo really wanted to create his own kind of style for this first movie. It's a very punk rock 80s feel. But he also made his zombies very interesting, the fact that they talk, they run, and they love to eat brains. And I think The Return of the Living Dead, of course, I put it in my top 50 favorite horror films list. Just reading the comments real quick. Part 2 and part 3. Yeah, those are usually the main ones that fans like. Most don't like 4 and 5, and I can definitely agree to that. 4 and 5, unfortunately, we're going to get to later on in the stream. That is going to be a headache. I hate those movies, but we'll get to them soon. But yeah, basically this movie was made on a very low budget. It went through some production trouble. And you've got the fact that Dan O'Bannon directed the movie. Of course, Dan O'Bannon involved with Alien, who wrote that movie. And Dan O'Bannon really was getting a lot of positive thoughts after this movie was made. Like, a lot of people loved Dan O'Bannon and had nothing but nice things to say about him after this movie came out. And there's actually a good documentary. If you're a fan of Return of the Living Dead, there's a documentary out there called More Brains. And it's a very interesting documentary that goes into not only the first movie, but it also goes into parts 2 and 3. And I think they kind of skipped 4 and 5. Thank God. I hate those movies, but they do go into part 2 and 3. So if you guys are fans of those movies, they get some good notices on that documentary. And you get just overall, it's on YouTube for free. I found it on YouTube for free. It's been on YouTube for a while now, and I definitely recommend it. If you're a fan of the series and you are into at least the first movie, I recommend the documentary. It's really well done. Yeah, part two is just fuck. You're gonna hate my opinion on part two, but I will say part two is definitely an interesting sequel. We'll get to that one. Was a what? Original horror boy from Legos. Oh, the original, the OG horror boy. Well, that's why I'm called the horror boy now. Because I looked it up. I was like, dude, there's so many horror boys out there. It's crazy how many horror boys. So I was like, man, what can I be? I can't just be horror boy. Maybe the horror boy of all horror boys. It's kind of just cheesy how that was done, but I was like, you know what? What can I name myself? I'm just horror boy right now. Well, the horror boy. Boom. Very easy to do that. JG, what's up, man? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. Oh my god, we got 11 people watching this stream. Oh my god, the pressure is on. But welcome to the stream, guys. Thanks so much for joining. Return of the Living Dead. I mean, what more can I say? The makeup effects, and believe it or not, the makeup effects in this movie, the first makeup effects that were done for it were trash. There was a guy who came in and made effects for almost the entire movie, and pretty much those effects were trashed. So the Tar Man, well, I don't think it was Tar Man. I think what it was a couple of the zombie designs, and specifically the scene in the warehouse where like, the Tabber comes back to life after his head's been knocked off and he starts walking around. That stuff was done for a long time, and they rewatched it back, and they really didn't like how it looks. They went back and they redid those scenes. So a lot of those scenes you're seeing in the movie were actually reshoots. So that's very interesting to talk about and very interesting to think about. I mean, most of it is reshoots. You wouldn't even know. And a little bit more backstory. This movie was done in it was done in sequence. So every single scene you see in this movie is done in order. That's a very interesting way to do a zombie movie. I mean, really, most time they're just shot in different stages, but this was shot in a very lenient style from the first thing that you see to the very ending scene. You're seeing just how it was actually filmed. It was filmed like that. So definitely interesting to think about that. But Return of the Living Dead is just one of those classic 80s rock and roll horror films. I think it's just the first time I seen it, and I was a kid, I really thought it was such a cool movie. And I seen Night of the Living Dead, and I seen Day of the Dead and Dawn of the Dead. I love those movies as well, but Return of the Living Dead was so different than those movies. And I think what made it so cool to me was they were so just unique. You know, the brains aspect, the fact that you can't just kill them, the fact that you just can't burn them, because if you burn them, you create more. So, and I showed this movie to a friend of mine last week. I showed my friend this movie. He's like, so how the hell do you stop these zombies? Well, that's the key. You do not stop these zombies. And that's what makes this movie so cool, is that these zombies, you can't just, knock them over, hit them on the head. They're not slow walking zombies. They're very smart. They have intellect, and they use their brains. No pun intended in this movie. But yeah, the first Return of the Living Dead. What's your guys' thoughts on it? Anybody out there that's seen the first Return of the Living Dead, let me know. If you got any questions for me, let me know as well. But the first Return of the Living Dead is classic, man. Remember, Final Destination sequel is The Final Destination. Know that? Yeah, that's so stupid. I hated that. The Final Destination. Stupid. I hate that title. I really do. But yeah, man, the Tar Man zombie, such a classic design. And the guy that played him really was he was skinny like that. He moved on his own, and he kind of found his own groove with the character. Like I really do like that. And before we get on, I want to say, JG, real quick. JG, you weren't in the stream when I was saying this, but you did a great stream. I really enjoyed it. Sorry I couldn't stay for the entire stream. I was gonna post this earlier, but I ended up getting postponed, and I didn't want to leave early, but I did want to tell you that it was a great stream. Had a lot of fun watching it. And my thing poster just supernaturally moved off the wall. That was fucking creepy. But yeah, JG, great stream. Loved it. And it was really entertaining, man. I really got into it, and yeah, New Nightmare stream was pretty lit, bro. What would I like to see in Return of the Dead Part 5? I mean, I would like to see a movie like this where it's more of a fun rock and roll type thing where, they're just having fun with it and making it entertaining. Because really enough, part two, we'll get into that in a second. I feel like part two strayed too much into silliness. Part two was a parody of this movie. Part two is a remake and a parody of the first movie. I mean, that's just straight up honesty right there. It's pretty much the first movie, only made for pretty much if a Disney Channel tried to make a freaking Return of the. That's how I feel. If Disney Channel tried to make a Return of the Dead movie, that's what it was part two. And then part three was kind of more of a serious horror film. And then after that, everything went downhill. But if they made a part five, I want to go back to this. Very basic, very simple, having fun, practical gags, having interesting characters, because the characters in this movie are very well done. They're unique. Scuzz, you got Scud, you got Trash, you've got Freddy, and you just got like a lot of great, Bert, characters you remember and really do remember, and you really do like. They're very likable characters, very blue collar, relatable characters that you would put yourself in the situation, you kind of read the same way. I mean, you can really get into that part of the movie. And yeah, I just Return of the Living Dead 1. I mean, you got some great scenes in there. I mean, you got some practical effects, people getting their brains bit. The Tarman zombie alone is a great effect, but you also got some cool shots of like the water will come out from the sky and then will hit the ground and it will kind of leak into the soil. And you get a full shot of that. The camera actually goes underground and you see it go all the way down to the casket. It's pretty cool. The whole nuke scene was done very well, where you actually see a nuke drop and then you see buildings kind of fly in a practical effect. Like, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, do I have any problems? I would say probably the very end of the movie would probably be my only problem. I don't know how I feel about that whole I don't know how I felt about the whole nuclear bomb ending. What do you guys think about that ending, the whole nuke ending? I don't know about that, but I could do without it. That's all I can say. I could do without it, but it is what it is. But besides that, I mean, the rest of the movie is very well done. I'm not spending too much time on this one because, I mean, everybody knows about Return of the Living Dead. It's a classic. It's a masterpiece, and I really can't give the movie much more praise. I love the effects. I love the music, too. Surfing Dead, and you got Do You Wanna Party? It's Party. Love that song. I love a lot of the music choices in this film. I think they really do keep it very fresh and like very just cool and hip with the music, man. I really love the music in this movie. Great soundtrack. Just gonna read in the comments really quick. Thanks, man. I really enjoyed that, Flintstone. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Sorry, man. This ain't that stream. I maybe one day to do a commentary, but not. I can't. Yeah, True Horford, you're right. It's just a discussion, man. Maybe one day though. Maybe I'll do a. Maybe one day I'll do a commentary on Return of the Living Dead. What am I drinking? I'm drinking some orange pop. Yep, orange pop. It's actually pretty good. It's like Big K or something like that. That's all I'm drinking tonight. Don't worry, it's not alcohol. That's what you're wanting. I'm not taking. Yeah, this is my shot glass, guys. Woo! Party! JG says, I would have loved a prequel showing the original outbreak, showing the true story behind what inspired Romero in this world. Yeah, I definitely agree, dude. That would actually be very cool because they built it so good in this movie. They really do. And that whole scene, the music stops, couple of the facial reactions are pretty funny, but they keep it straight face and they're building it up, and it makes you very curious. You're like, kind of wonder, What was that all about? What was that night in the hospital or night in the morgue? What was that about, you know? When is the next stream? I don't know. Probably later on this week. We'll see. I got another top list I'm actually making right now. And the reason why I can't do it right now is because oh dude. Yeah, freaking cheers to that. I'm one of those drunks. One of those ones you don't want to have around me. Like, oh my god, he's so fucking annoying. I'm just playing around. This is just pop. I'm not drinking, but yeah, I'm one of those drunks. But that'd have been curious, man. I actually been very, very curious to see that. But I did have I was saying I had a list of movies that I was gonna do, but it's not done yet. And I want to take time to make the list so that I'm not just, half-assing it and throwing it out there on, YouTube, and you guys be like, we've already seen that in the list before. I'm like, yeah, it's true. So it takes a while for my list to get made. I only made that last one in 2 parts because I already had everything. That was literally the 50 greatest horror movies, like literally the easiest stream to make. Like, because literally I already knew all of them off the top of my head. I'm like, oh yeah, that's good. Oh, that's good. It's easy to make a 50 greatest ones, but the one I'm making next is opposite of good movies. So, if you guys can figure that out. And I think it's like a 30, 34, 35 list. So that'll be fun. As long as you're of age, you can drink in your stream. Yeah. Yeah. That's the problem. I'm just joking. No. That's why I'm drinking soda, man. Playing it safe for the stream. Was a what? Roted vibe? Roted vibe. Oh, I'm stupid. Return of the Living Dead vibe. I'm like, what's a roted vibe? What is that? No, Return of the Living. It does. It honestly does. Part 6 of Jason really has the same exact. To be honest, that guy who made that movie should have made Part 2 Return of the Living Dead. To me, and everybody else disagrees because everybody loves Return of the Living Dead Part 2. But to me, Part 2 was rough, and I feel like Tom McLaughlin, if he would have made Part 2, at least would have, with that atmosphere and that kind of use of the comedy, I feel like it'd be a better sequel, honestly, if you ask me. I mean, Part 5, I wouldn't mind that at all. That'd be pretty fun. You will never know, zombie. You will never know. It's suspense. But yeah, Return of the Living Dead. What's your guys' thoughts on it in the comments? Let me know. It's very, and I agree, True Horror Fanatic Jason Lives is a very fun movie. It's great. What are you guys' thoughts on it? What's your guys' rank of it? What's your guys' little review of it? Just let me know real quick. Return of the Living Dead, to me, I would give it a 9. I'm sorry. I would give Return of the Living Dead a 10 out of 10. Because to me, it really does have that 10 out of 10 value to it. And that's the thing when you make sequels to 10 out of 10 movies, like those perfect horror movies, the ones that you really like, usually the sequels don't do so great on following them up. But I love this movie to death. 10 out of 10. Return of the Living Dead is a badass zombie movie. So yeah, that's part 1. And I don't have part 2. Actually, part 2 was on YouTube for free for like 8 years. I don't know if it is now, but I've always seen part 2 on YouTube for free. And I know it's on YouTube for free. Or I don't know about now, but it was. And basically, to get into Return of the Part 2, very similar. He is more fanatic than I am, though. I don't know, though, man. But them Star Wars movies are pretty fanatic. I'm just playing with you, man. Couple of Star Wars reviews, you have me thinking, man. I'm like, is he a Star Wars fan? I mean, if you're a Star Wars fan, that's fine, but I am too. I'm not trying to say what I'm trying to say is that there's Star Wars fans, and then there's Star Wars, I don't know how to fucking say it. You know what I mean? Those Star Wars fans that there's actually a lot of them that absolutely hate the prequels, but yet the sequel. And if this is your opinion, that's fine. I'm not even trying to mean this is an insult. I'm just saying this happens a lot. The prequels are hated, but the new sequels are absolutely loved. Like, there's people that give the new sequels of Star Wars 10 out of 10 stars. I'm just like, to me, I don't agree with that. But then they'll say the prequels are trash. And to me, the prequels have a lot of problems. But to me, the prequels aren't garbage. I mean, I wouldn't say they're as bad as everybody says they are, but I'm just messing with you, horror fanatic. Part 2 was way too much of a parody compared to I agree with that. It really was. Zombie movies, sadly, before I even saw Romero's. 10 out of 10 for Last Pharaoh. Last Pharaoh, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Tom redirect a new Return of the Living Dead versus his Friday the 13th new. Yeah, I haven't heard about his idea yet, but I'd be interested in seeing him direct a Return of the Living Dead Part 5. And it's yeah, what happened with that? We're gonna be talking about that in a second, but the soundtrack got a lot of issues with it. Stevie Part 2 in French dub, you heard original music. That's interesting. Especially radar. I noticed that, and we're going to be getting the Return of the Living Dead Part 2 now, which came out in 88, right? I think 88. I think it came out in 88. But Return of the Dead Part 2 I'm not a fan of. And if you guys hate me and write in the comments, say that, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, that's fine. I know it's a very unpopular opinion. Part 2 is a movie that has a cult following. In my opinion, I don't understand why it has a cult following. And I went into it with a positive mindset. Don't get me wrong. I was going into it and I was like, oh, dude, this is going to be so cool. I've heard that, I've heard that Part 2 was such a great movie. And I was so excited. I watched it, and I'll be honest, after it was over, I'm like, that's a very disappointing movie to me. Very disappointing, because it completely made the first movie a parody. And yeah, the first movie had comedy, but you got crap in this movie that's like from a Looney Tunes special, from like a PG. And people like, but you like Freddy's Dead. Freddy's Dead to me felt funner. It felt like it was more. Robert Englund did better to me than anybody in Return of the Living Dead Part 2. Anybody. Even the guys who did decent don't like the movie. The guy who played he played Freddy in that movie, and he played a new character in this movie, but he's pretty much playing the same exact character. And he even said he didn't like this movie. This movie made him quit acting. That's how bad it was for him. And the experience, he quit acting after he was in this movie because of this movie. And the other guy didn't like this movie that much either. And they were treated horribly on the set. From what I've heard, they were treated horribly. Especially the guy who played not Bert, but the other guy, the guy who tells the story. I can't remember his name right now, but he's a great actor. But he even said he was treated horribly on the set. Now that's just very unfortunate, man. Last joke. Hold on, I'm trying to read. Trying to read some True Horror Fanatic. Aren't trash. Last Jedi is mediocre as fuck. Too many problems that are good. Yeah, I'm glad that you're honest with it, man. Because I've met some Star Wars fans. They despise the prequels. The prequels have problems, but they're not really that bad. But then they'll say that the new movies are flawless. And then when I try to discuss it, it's like, But if it's your opinion, it's your opinion. But I'm glad that you like the prequels, man. Yeah, I was just messing with you, man. Your Star Wars reviews were great. I really enjoyed them, man. Yeah, Junebug, there are those Star Wars fans out there that just like. I'm actually a fan of Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Don't get me wrong, but there are some fans out there that made the special edition stuff just way too much of a big deal. Like, they said it was like life changing. I'm like, it's not. I'll be honest, the special editions don't bother me that much. They really don't. It's just a couple of CGI shots. It's nothing really too big of a deal to me. I know I got Gary for that cult, man. This movie has a lot of fans. Thank you, John. Brian Graveyard is here. Thank you. I agree. I'm not a fan of Return of the Dead Part 2 at all. They're literally taking a flamethrower to the bodies with no worries with the toxin at the end. Yeah, exactly. And the end doesn't make sense because there's like a scene where they shock the zombies. And this is kind of a spoiler, I guess, but it's not really, because I'm pretty sure this isn't how you actually kill them. But in the movie, they try to make it to where it's this electricity that shocks their brain. That's how you kill them. I'm like, That makes it so unspecial and ununique when you do that. And they had to throw in a really cringy Thriller reference in there, and I was just like, that's not funny. That's just really cringy, and it was awful. I didn't care for that. Most of the humor, like a guy decapitates a head and the head talks, but the voice like a dude's voice, and I'm just like, what is this stuff, man? It just was like it rubs you the wrong way. It just feels so forced. And the thing about Tom Matthews and his character's interaction with the other guy from the first movie is that it felt natural in the first movie. In this movie, when they're together and they try to do that whole comedy thing, they try to pull lines from the first movie, it feels so forced and it's just like so stiff. And it ain't their fault, it's the script's fault. And you have a director who didn't like horror movies making this movie. Why would you hire a guy who doesn't like horror movies to make Return of the Living Dead Part 2? That does not make any sense to me at all. At all. And the guy was apparently not in the production. He was wandering around set. He didn't really care. And you can tell because the movie just doesn't have, it feels dull. It feels lifeless. It feels careless. You know, the first movie, they put that movie together with, you know, glue and tape, and they just barely made the first movie. And they put so much passion and fun into it. James Karen, that's what he, James Karen, I think is what you're talking. That's the name of the actor. But they put so much time and effort and money into the first movie. And then the second movie, it just doesn't feel like the first movie at all. Whereas there's no heart to it, there's no passion behind it. And the acting I felt was horrible. You got some bad leads. I mean, probably the only decent actors was maybe the lead kid was all right. Everybody else was pretty bad, I'll be honest. The rest of the cast was awful. Their acting was just stiff. And they had no chemistry either. I'm going to read some comments here real quick. Don Calfa auditioned for part 2, but they rejected him. I know. That's another thing, too. Thank you for mentioning that, Zombie. He auditioned, and they rudely said no to him. And he even was nice about it. He was like, you know, he went in there and auditioned, gave his best. And they said, no, we don't need you in this movie. And it's like, are you serious? Don Calfa? A legendary actor like that? The guy who was awesome in the first... You're going to disrespect him like that? That's the thing. Return of the Living Dead Part 2 just has way too much and that rubs me the wrong way. It's the music, too. And apparently the music has some copyright issue. That's why it sounds so bad. But the music in this movie, the version I seen, sounded horrible. Sound like they got some stock footage rock music, generic, and they remake the theme from the first movie, and it doesn't sound as good. Then you put Tar Man in this movie, and you give the Tar Man one scene. And what happens? He gets out of the barrel, and for some reason, the kid doesn't get infected by the gas because I guess he got out of there or whatever. But he goes back for some reason. Tar Man is out, and the Tar Man in this movie looks like garbage. His face, the design of the makeup looks like garbage. It does. It looks like horrible trash. He gets out, and the kid literally pushes him into a puddle, and that's all you see from Tar Man. And the guy who played Tar Man said, hey, you know, I would have loved to do more scenes. And, you know, he recommended more stuff to the director. The director was like, nah, we don't need you in this movie. You know, you don't need any more from you. And he's actually been nice, like, well, I have some ideas and concepts I want to do for this role. He's like, well, we don't need the Tar Man. We got new zombies in this movie. We don't need him. It's like, really? It's a bad attitude in the movie that... And the guy who directed it doesn't talk about the movie ever. He doesn't ever do interviews. So that whole shebang of the backstage stuff, the production, rubs me the wrong way. It's a movie with a really bad attitude to it, and I don't like that. And it really shows in the movie because there's no life to it. Yeah, I mean, at least we can, you know, discuss it, man. Yeah, Junebug. I mean, it just has too much comedy in it, but I do respect people that love this movie. I mean, a lot of people love it a lot. Oh yeah, I agree, Ridley. I agree a lot. Part 3 is miles better. Yeah, Mitch Pileggi kills the zombies at one point because we got no exactly, man. I was like, really? You put Mitch Pileggi in there and you do nothing with him? He has no good kills? Yeah, there's no threat to this. I'm just scrolling down. I got a lot of comments to get to. Craft services. Exactly, Grande's Graveyard. Good quote there. That is literally the only good thing he said. So the guy who directed this movie made a creepy Nazi zombie movie called Shockwaves. Like I've heard of Shockwaves. That's the thing. But if he doesn't like horror movies, why is he making horror? That's the thing. If I didn't like action movies, I wouldn't make action movies. You know, if I didn't like anime, I wouldn't make an anime movie. You know, I wouldn't make a movie that I didn't like. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand that. I really don't get why they would even hire him. He also made Meatballs too. Are you kidding me? Harris with the Soul's Trench Coat. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Talking about Return of the Living Dead Part 2 so far. Somewhere that Bill Murray loves Return of the Dead movies. That's good. I mean, at least I will say this though. For some reason, I can see Part 2 being played after Part 1. For some reason, even though Part 2 kind of remakes the first movie. I mean, the first movie isn't even mentioned in the second movie. At least I can't remember that. Yeah, he admits it. Everybody knew it. He does not like horror movies at all. I don't like Part 2, but when we got to Part 3, I think it's a huge improvement. Not to me. Yeah, that's definitely a good point, man. I mean, Part 2 is weird. Friday Part 2 has a weird reaction. People love it. People hate it. It's really weird, but I enjoy it. But I do see where you're coming from. I respect your opinion. I'm doing good, man. Talking about Return of the Living Dead Part 2. Getting some heat. Luckily, the comments are calm and nobody's, hating me yet. But, luckily, we're actually agreeing on some stuff. But, yeah. Return of the Living Dead Part 2, the story also is kind of lame. Because it's just a remake. And the graveyard scene, just the way the whole movie looks, I don't like. It's got this blue filter with smoke. Literally just blue filter with smoke. Not even fully nighttime. Not even dark out. It's like a blue lighting with some smoke. Ooh, that's such a great atmosphere, right? And you got stuff from the first movie being said, like the part where he's like, "Watch your tongue if you like this job." I'm like, that doesn't really work in this movie. But yeah, dude. Return of the Living Dead Part 2 had a lot of issues with. What would you guys rate it? Would you guys give it out of 10? I would give it a 4 out of 10, honestly. I'm not a fan of Return of the Dead Part 2. It's too silly, it's too wacky, it's too corny, and it's just too dull. It's too I'm trying to find the word for it. It's just too uninspired and gray for me. But yeah, Return of the Dead Part 2, 4 out of 10. What would you guys rate it? And let me know your guys' thoughts on it in the chat here. But yeah, after that came out, it didn't do very well critically or box office wise. Either didn't make a lot of money. And thus they wanted to, basically simmer down for a while, kind of think about, oh my God, really gave a 3.5. Interesting. Nigor, what's up, my man? How you doing? Welcome to Eternal Living Dead stream. We got discussing getting your opinion out there, man. No fear. I'm just trucking through it, man. I'm trying to keep the no fear thing going. What are we ranting about? We're talking about Return of the Living Dead, man. What's your thoughts on it, man? Talk about Return of the Dead 1 and 2. 1, I love to death and I really enjoy. 2, I'm not a fan of. But what's your guys' ratings on it? What's your guys' thoughts on it? Let me know Return of the Dead Parts 1 and 2 in the comments. So how would you guys rate them? Really gave it a 3.5 out of 10. That's crazy, man. He fucking despises that movie. I gave it a 4. It's just a lame sequel. But years later, we would get a third movie, and due to the fact that the second one didn't make any money, the third movie didn't have a budget to it. So there's a company back then that made this movie, but they don't have it on here anymore. I think it was it Trimark? Trimark, I think, made this movie for very, very, very cheap, and they got it out there, and it got a very mixed opinion when it came out. But luckily, over the years, got a cult following. In my opinion, a much better sequel, Return of the Living Dead 3, She's to Die For. Now, this movie came out in the early 90s, I think 93 is when this came out, or 92. But this one really, I thought, improved upon the second movie. And the fact that it's not really, technically speaking, it's not really Return of the Living Dead in tone, but I love the story to it. And I think it's just a big overall improvement. And I like how instead of having, hordes of zombies in this movie and really just making it just typical cities full of zombies and stuff, it's more of a Romeo and Juliet love story. And I really liked that aspect. And I thought the two actors did surprisingly well. And I remember going into it and seeing the opening and seeing the credits and seeing, how it looked. I remember I was sitting there, like, oh great, another low budget sequel. But then I was like really surprised by the middle part of the movie. I was very surprised by it. And I feel like what it's got going for it is it doesn't have a lot of budget for the effects. So when they actually do show the effects, it really does make it better. I mean, they slow build it. You're not seeing zombies everywhere. You see maybe 50 zombies in the entire movie, and most of them come towards the end. And I feel like it was done very well. I mean, the way the movie looks, I love how it's lit. And I'm a big fan of Brian Usna, who's made plenty of sequels out there, pretty low budget sequels out there. And he has a lot of experience in making sequels. And I'm actually a pretty big fan of him. I know he was involved with Reanimator. And I don't know if he directed it or not, but I know he, yeah, I agree with Gore. His does shine in this movie. But I think it looks interesting. The lighting choices are very well done. The yellows, blues, there's a couple purples in there. I like how the lab looks. It looks a little fake, but I like the style of the movie, how it looks, where it kind of has this artificial layer to it where you can tell it's a set, but it still looked good to me. It still looked visually pleasing to look at. And yeah, I like that. They have a cool idea of the end of the movie having all the barrels come down and the zombies coming out of it. And the zombies in this movie look pretty cool. They're all melted and stuff. Is the makeup effects as good as the first movie? No. But I think they're way better than the second movie's makeup effects. There's another problem with that movie. It had bad makeup effects. But it's a good plot, man. It's not even really a comedy. It's a more serious horror film about a guy and his girlfriend dies in an accident, and he brings her back to the trioxin gas, and the rest of the movie is the government chasing him down. You got thugs chasing him down. You got his girlfriend turning into a zombie. And that transformation right there, I think, is really well done. She comes out and she, has the piercings, and they really touch on, cutting and stuff in this movie. It's like a punk. It's like a grunge zombie movie. You think about that, like the grunge, it's like the Nirvana of the Return of the Living Dead, movies. It's very grunge, and I love grunge, so that's pretty awesome. But I like the certain choices of lighting, direction. Does it have problems? Yeah, I mean sometimes the pace can get a little slow. The music doesn't sound very good at all. It's got that very cheap, generic music to it, where it's From Dusk Till Dawn 2 is another sequel that I really enjoy. But these both have the same problem. The music, I'm sorry, it's horrible in this movie. The music is awful. And also, the way that the zombies sound in this movie are pretty bad as well, because they're all like, and you hear that through the entire movie. It's just nothing but, they don't say brains. They don't have like clever, wits to them. They're just mindless. They're just, I'm like, well, you could have given them some dialogue or made them smart, not just, generic zombies, But that I didn't really care for. Sometimes the effects can look a little off. There's literally a scene where the girl jumps off a bridge. And it's supposed to be this like, oh my God, very dramatic moment. You see a doll, like a mannequin doll, fall down wearing like a leather jacket. Like, it's clearly a dummy. It falls off. You see the string attached to it. I'm like, oh my god, that's really rough looking, man. But yeah, so you got some pretty bad music. Sometimes the effects do look a little off. Um, Sometimes they look very foamy. If that makes any sense? Looks very foamy. They don't look very authentic. But for the most part, the effects look pretty damn good, and I love the story. It's a movie that has great acting to it. Excuse me, I just had one hell of a burp, but has great acting to it. Has some decent acting. You're not going to get Oscar-worthy performances in this movie, but I think the acting is serviceable for what it is, and it's a very interesting plot. It's very intriguing. And if you haven't seen Part 3, I recommend it. Believe it or not, $5 at Walmart. I got it for that much. So yeah, so you can probably get it for very cheap. It's a very cheap DVD for me to get, and I recommend it. It's a hell of a lot better than the next movie we're gonna talk about because the next movies are fucking trash, and God, we gotta get to them. But yeah, Part 3 has like a grunge atmosphere to it. I love that. I love this poster, which is pretty cool. I love a lot of things about it, man. The ending where the zombies are everywhere and this facility closes down. The scene where she literally pulls a guy's spine out, like his spinal cord, and the head is up here. And that was like, wow, so cool. I love that effect. Riverman, here's this coin. You do a good deed, you pass that coin to somebody else. Maybe then people start changing in the world. I love that. That's such a great, and it's like, it's surprising because it's like, really, it's a low budget zombie movie that doesn't really, you wouldn't expect that at all from this movie. But it's a really well done scene where they're both talking, and you feel bad for the girl. You feel bad for her because she's eating brains and she can't help it, and she starts cutting herself because she can't take the pain anymore. It's just got a lot going for it. It's a very fleshed out direct-to-video sequel that I thought was surprisingly well done. So part 2 I thought was pretty bad. Part 3 actually I'm a really big fan of. And what would you guys rate it in the comments? I actually really do love part 3. I would give it probably a 7 out of 10. I think a solid 7 is pretty fair for this movie. I think it's got some problems to it, but for the most part, it's a pretty damn solid sequel that surprised the hell out of me when I seen it. And if you haven't seen part 3, see it. It's very, very surprisingly well made. But yeah, that's part 3. Let's get to the comments before we talk about part 4 and 5 and those pieces of dog shit. I hate those fucking movies. So let's read some of these comments real quick from you guys. Sorry if I don't get to a lot of them. There's a lot of comments here. To be fair, a lot of the sequels remake each other in instance. A lot of James Bond movies are remakes of other James Bond movies. That's true. That's pretty fair. It just gets weird when it's in a series like this. Like, continuity wise, it feels weird comparing this to like the other movies, or not this, but the second movie to these two movies. So John gives part 1 a 10 out of 10, part 2 a 4 out of 10, part 3 an 8.5 out of 10, part 4 a 1 out of 10, and part 5 a 2 out of 10. So he thinks the part 5 is, well, we'll get to that in a second. Definitely good ratings, bro. Rick, I really do like your ratings. Pretty cool. Haven't bought a seat for, dude. Need Gore 4 and 5 is just fucking trash. They're fucking garbage. And amazing that I used and made Silent Night Deadlight Part 4 right before turning to Part 3. Silent Night Part 4 is by far the worst movie in that series. Yeah, that looked like, I seen the commercial for that movie, the trailer looked like garbage. I forgot he made that movie. The opening zombie scene in the lab is awesome. Yeah, I agree. You need Gore. Yeah, it's not a comedy. The Big Flaw Part 2. I agree, Ridley. That's why it's one of the reasons what makes Part 3 so unique. It's the only one in the series, besides whatever the fuck those abominations are, that, doesn't do the whole comedy thing. I think it's really makes it stick out, and I think it really makes it unique. So I agree with you, man. Yeah, I love the Riverman character as well, man. Yeah, I like that. That's a good scene, John. It's a great character. So really would give 3 a 9.8 out of 10. The music sounds like shit and the zombies could have sounded better. I agree with you, man. I agree. Oh yeah, true horror fan. That fucking rant is coming up because I hate these next movies are fucking horrible, man. The bum turned to zombie, a super zombie cyborg. I know. I actually forgot to mention that. I liked that. That was actually a good touch. I liked the design. And it's like a creepy idea of these. Really enough, you're feeling bad for the zombies because they're like drilling holes into them and torturing them and stuff like that. You feel bad kind of for because these guys are doing horrible experiments on them. And you know, like the lead bad chick of the movie, that fucking chick, she was really like she was just such a good bad guy. Oh yeah, what's up, Black Stylo 95? How you doing? Yeah, they made 5 of these fucking movies, and 2 of them are fucking abominations, and one of them I don't really like, but 2 of them are fucking horrible. Horrible, which we'll be getting to in a second. Then there's the same director who directed by the same director as Doctor Strange. Yuzna? I didn't know he made that movie. Interesting. Scratch the Door really wants it. Corey really wants it. Fucking oh yeah, dude. 0 out of 10. I fucking agree, man. When your franchise is sucking, put them in space. Yeah, dude. Fucking burn these movies, man. Burn them. Fucking burn 4 and 5 because they are fucking garbage. And I don't mean to get so I don't mean to say so many curse words, but part 4 and 5 legit pissed me off because they were only made for one little old reason. Money. Moolah. And they made no money. So I don't know why they and they made it was so bad they made them both back to back. They released them both on the same day on Sci-Fi Channel. That's pretty bad. William Butler co-wrote. Yeah, he tends to co-write a couple of movies. Like he co-wrote Ginger Dead Man 3, Saturday Night Cleaver. Yeah, he co-wrote that. He co-wrote I think all the Ginger Dead Man movies. I think he also directed that movie as well. Steven Derrickson, Doctor Strange. Dude, Steven Derrickson is a lot better at those with Doctor Strange than he is with but you got to start somewhere, I guess. Hellraiser 5. Yeah. I think part 17 something. I agree, Neat Gore. Part 7 is okay, but part 3 of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I really do agree with that. I love part 3. I love Leatherface. Texas Chainsaw Massacre part 3. That's a great movie. And Friday the 13th, the new buzz, all right. But guys, I've been stalling for a long time now because, as you can tell, I'm very excited to get into the next movies. I'm not. I'm really fucking not. These movies make me ashamed to be a fan of. Well, I'm not even gonna give them that. I'm not even gonna let them make me ashamed of being a fan of the series because you know what? As far as I'm concerned, these movies do not exist. They should not exist. And in my mind, they do not exist. But in this video, unfortunately, they do. Talking about fucking Return of the Living Dead Necropolis. Return of the Living Dead, Raised to the Grave. Fantastic. Fantastic. Let's get into these classics, shall we? So Return of the Dead Necropolis. I seen this on Sci-Fi back in the day when it first came out. And I didn't catch the 5th one, but I caught this one on Sci-Fi back when it premiered. And dude, I'll be honest, when I was a young kid, I saw it and I was like, hey, you got zombies getting their brains blown out. Cool. That means it's a good movie. And then I waited and I waited. I'm like, wait a minute, that movie was the sequel to Return of the Living Dead. What? So I I found it, this and part 5 for $1 a piece. Dollar bin somewhere. I don't remember. I don't think it was Walmart. It was some dollar fucking thing. I found it at a dollar bin somewhere, and got them both. And Yeah, they're both pretty bad. Some people say this one's the worst one. I beg to differ. I think Rage of the Grave is even fucking worse because it seems like they bumped up the silliness in this movie, but we'll get to that in a second. Yeah, they're not fucking classics at all. They're fucking abominations. But Necropolis, where do I begin? You got CGI that is literally N64 graphics. I've seen N64 Resident Evil 2. When you got Resident Evil 2 that looks better than this movie, then we got problems. When I can get more scared from an N64 game than a real movie that was made in real life that came out on Sci-Fi Channel, we got problems. Silent Hill. Silent Hill looked better than this fucking movie. The game, the first Silent Hill. Oh, the second Silent Hill blows us out of the fucking water. And I don't mean to curse so much, but I cannot help it. These movies just make me too damn angry to not cuss, man. They really do. They really do. I can't stand movies like this that are so lazy and so horrible that they can't even remember these zombies don't say brains. They don't. I mean, they kind of eat brains, but they kind of also bite regular, like, they bite people's arms and their fucking hands. This is so lazy, they can't even get that right. In this movie, you know what kills these zombies? Headshots. Headshots kill these zombies. You know how much BS that is in this movie? When I seen that, I was like, what the fuck are they doing? These zombies are not even running. They're not even talking. They're over here walking around like regular zombies, and they're getting shot in the head. Oh, yeah, do you like trioxin? No, it's toxic waste in this movie. Because, get it? It's from another barrel. It's because from a barrel means. So, yeah, totally speaking, these zombies aren't even fucking trioxin zombies. They're toxic waste zombies. And they get shot in the head, and they put up no fight. They put up no fight, and they're nothing. They're nothing in this fucking movie. This movie is boring. It has maybe two good things. I'm not even gonna say two good things. It has like two salvageable things about it. One is the soundtrack, which I will admit is better than Part 3's soundtrack because you got Godsmack in there. You got like all those early 2000 bands in there. All right, good soundtrack. You got that. All right, you got some good practical effects in there sometimes. You got a decent little head explosion. You got some good blood squibs. All right, you look pretty decent there. I won't lie. I like the idea of this. Don't know if you can see it right, but I like the idea of the whole cyborg zombies with the freaking saw blades and stuff like that. I like that, but it looked kind of bad in the movie. It looked very cheap. And the movie is just so boring. The teens are nothing. They're nothing in this movie. It's just boring, slow, dull. Literally, it's not even Return of the Living Dead. It literally could be called another zombie movie. Just call it Necropolis. You just take this little title right here because Halloween 3 has this problem too. You take that freaking title. All right, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. You do that. Okay. You cover that up, or fuck it, you know what I'm talking about. Just cover up Return of the Living Dead, call it Necropolis. Boom. I can't tell the fucking difference. I really can't. But yeah, Necropolis, and I've seen that True Horror Fanatic said as bad Phantasm Ravager. I hate to say, but Phantasm Ravager is better than this. At least Ravager had. It wanted to give the fans something. Ravager, what that movie's issue was there's no budget and there was a lack of a decent script. But they at least tried to give the fans a sequel to Ravager. Ravager's a pretty bad movie, I will admit. But this piece of fucking cow shit, this is this fucking shit that leaks out of cows' asses on farms. They scoop up, put in some fucking bins, take it around the fucking barn, put it in a big old pile, and light it on fire. They take the fucking ashes, throw it in a fucking well, and keep it in there. I'm not even fucking over exaggerating. That's what this fucking movie is, man. That's what that movie is. So yeah, Necropolis is overall I would give it realistically probably a 1 out of 10, but I really do want to give it a solid 0. It's a piece of shit and easily one of the fucking worst movies out there. But we got one that's even worse than that movie, in my opinion. Yeah, that's the thing. It's even an insult to sci-fi movies. And you're right, dude. I've seen sci-fi movies better than that. That's sad. I've seen sci-fi movies that are better than these 4 and 5 sequels. One I just tossed across the room out of anger, but I've seen sci-fi movies like Frankenfish. When Frankenfish or Mega Piranha is better than this movie, or these two movies combined are still not even as good as those movies, that is pretty sad. That is pretty goddamn sad. That's pretty sad. But yeah, part 4, Necropolis, is awful, dull, boring crap that literally only has maybe a couple salvageable things about it. Maybe the practical effects, maybe the music. Pretty much same thing applies to this movie, except this one's, in my opinion, even worse. It's even worse, in my opinion. You want to know why it's even worse? Because they take that silliness, that corniness, that cheap, you want to do it? Waste my fucking. I'm not wasting. I want to, but I'm not going to. My pop has more value than this movie. My 98 cents bottle of fucking Big K orange soda is more valuable than this movie. I spent more money on a soda that I feel was more valuable, and I had more of a reason to spend $1 on a soda than I did on a movie. And this one's even worse to me. It is even fucking worse, man. It's even worse because they bump up the silliness. Because you got this dumb idea of this movie where it's about this drug called Z, and people take it and they go, and they shake really fast like a cartoon, and they stay like this. This is literally what they're this is their face. You know, they go like, oh, whoa, that was amazing, man. We better start selling that. And it's like, why would you take that drug? Literally, you take it, you go to, and you're like this. That's not even fucking. Even for college kids, it's a kind of a boring drug. Wouldn't you think? Just going like this. You know, your brain is you got your brain dead or whatever. It's a stupid idea. Stupid idea. You got that. You got some horrible, awful, oh my God, CGI in this movie. The CGI is bad, guys. It is really bad in this movie, and I can't stress enough how cheesy it is. I like I said, dude, when PS1 graphics look better than these movies, that is pretty sad. But you got this whole idea of a rave, and I kind of like the idea because it's kind of a throwback to the first movie where it's the party, rave to the grave. I like the idea. It's done poorly. The party looks lame. They put a couple strobe lights up. You got maybe a group of people in the center. House of the Dead's party was better than this. House of the Dead, that crappy 2003. A crappy 2003. I'm going to fucking throw up this movie, dude. The 2003 House Dead movie's party was better than this movie's party. This movie's party had like 5 people at it and a strobe light. And some cheesy EDM music and zombies show up. I will admit, dude, you have some pretty decent looking effects. You know, this one zombie gets drumsticks in its eyes. It's done practically. The brain bites are done practically. The head squibs and blow up. You know, that's all done practically. I can appreciate that. Tarman looks better in this movie than he did in part 2, I will admit. I like Tarman's design in this movie a lot better, which I don't think they have a picture of him. I mean, you can kind of see Tarman right there. But that already looks better than part 2's Tarman. And okay, you know, you got Tarman back. But the thing about Tarman comes back to do nothing. Except for, I'm not even kidding you guys. I am not even kidding you guys right now. The Tarman, all he does is walk up and down a road with a little old sign, looking for a ride. That's the joke, guys. That's your guys' cue to laugh right there. Ha ha ha! He's walking. Get it? Cause he's a zombie. Fuck my life. God, it is literally on that level of anger as some of the other bad movies I've seen out there, like Creepshow 3, like the Howl or the Wolfman remake or the Prom Night remake. Those are all on the same level as this movie. And this one's the worst one to me. It looks horrible. It sounds horrible. It looks low budget. It's Raid to the Grave is the worst one. Just down, hands down, I would say it's the worst one. And the music is all right. You got some good looking practical effects. Besides that, everything else is garbage. Garbage. Yeah. Fuck, I got some people in here agreeing with me. Yeah, dude, fuck part 5. I will drink my pop. Drinking my pop is more of a fun time than I wish I did have a fucking hammer. I would fucking destroy it. Believe me, I want to. That would be a waste of orange pop. I'm not fucking letting this movie win, man. I'm not letting it fucking win. I'm not letting it fucking win. I love destroying movies, though. It's so fun. It's just so relaxing. Just to destroy a garbage movie. Oh, it's the greatest thing in the world, man. It really is. Who would I don't know if Junebug is still here or not, but he asked, who would I get to direct part 5? Somebody who has, a good passion behind it and actually wants to make Return of the Living Dead movie. It's actually good and actually has, that actually has care put into it. Somebody who would actually put time and effort into making it good. And the thing about this movies too is the lead guy is such a freaking. I'm not even meaning this as an insult, but the character it's a fake character. So I guess whatever I want. The character literally is the biggest wussy lead in the entire freaking series, because the guy will get into fist fights. He's getting literally not even throwing a punch. He's getting his ass kicked. He's like, stop hitting me. Stop it. I'm like, fight back, dude. Do something. You're supposed to be our lead, our hero guy, the lead guy. He's over here going, I can't. Why are you hitting me? I'm just like, dude, fight. Do something. You're the lead. Come on, man. Like, it's for real. All right, so I got caught up in these comments real quick. Just going to scroll down here. Pepsi is greater than Orange Pop. I can agree to that. I like Pepsi a little bit more better. Whoever the really is fucking pissed. Some funny shit right there. Yeah. See this fucking. I would even guarantee this shit. This fucking stream was more entertaining than that movie. It's pretty sad. This was free. This was just doing out of passion, man. Just doing out of passion, having fun. I was having a great night. So talking about Necropolis and Raid to the Grave. You know what that Raid to the Grave is? It raved the franchise to the grave, because 5 was the last one we got. It raved it to the grave. Thanks, Raid to the Grave. The franchise is dead because of you. Thank you. God damn, I hate these movies, man. Hate them. They're so bad. They're not even. They're just so bad, man. I never thought of the idea to make part 5 there fucking. Oh my god. Ridley, you are pissed. I agree, man. Fuck it, man. This movie's shit. Part 5. It's horrendously bad. I love the cover as a kid. Hey, John, you found another positive. The cover. I like that poster. Pretty cool. But, oh yeah, fun fact, by the way. This movie is so bad. It is so bad. Look at this. Look at this disc. I don't even think you guys can see it. I can't even show you guys it. But this disc, what happened to it was I put it in my DVD player, right? And I watched the movie and I thought it was horrible, right? I go take it out of my DVD player. It won't come out. It won't come out. What do I got to do? I got to take the front part of my DVD player out, take some pliers or something, dig in there and get this disc out and ruin the freaking disc. So really, if I wanted to watch it again, I can't. So I got to get another copy. So really, it's just, I don't care. I don't care if I ruined it. I really don't. But yeah, even my DVD player was like, no, no, it fucked up my DVD player. Look at it and break it, you know. We need to calm down a bit, but it's not gonna fucking work. This movie is work. Oh, get does in bed. I was gonna go to bed, but I forgot I had a stream and I didn't do it yet. So I'm over here fucking dude, I know, man. Crazy Fat Ethel was so much more better than this movie. It was so much more better than this movie. Crazy Fat Ethel was at least entertaining. It was really entertaining. I actually really did enjoy Crazy Fat Ethel. So the piece of shit to a fucking school bully. That wouldn't be a bad fucking idea, actually. Hey, Blue Rain, how's it going, man? Ranting on some movies, man. Ripping some movies apart, man. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. How you doing, man? How's it going? Good to see you back, man. You know, Hammer after all. DVD. Yeah, that's the thing. It committed suicide. The fucking DVD said, "Oh, I don't want to. I'm shit. I'm shit." It's the second movie I gotta take out to this fucking. I gotta calm down, man. My fucking nerves are just like infuriated, man. Infuriated. But yeah, to sum that up, Return of the Living Dead, Necropolis, and Raiders of the Grave. I would much rather pay $1 for, I don't know, some chips. You know, you can get a pop, you can get a dollar menu item. I would much rather get like a burrito or a hamburger over getting these movies. I really would. These movies fucking suck. And they're nothing but torture, man. They're just torture. So if you're curious, check them out, but they're just torture, bro. Just letting you know. They're cringy, they're awful, they're low budget. Got N64 Super Nintendo freaking CG graphics, and they look horrible. And they don't even have, it's like literally nothing to do with Return of the Living Dead. Literally nothing. They're toxic waste zombies. They don't run, they don't talk, and they die from headshots. So they're just regular old zombies. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Return of the Living Dead 4 and 5 do not exist. They do not exist. They are pieces of shit. They have the Creepshow 3s of this series, and they blow. Short, sweet, to the point. 4 and 5 blow. Wish I could get a $5 foot long. They took that shit away. God damn it. Calm my nerves real quick. But yeah. To get over this series real quick, how I would rank it, I think how I would rank it would be the first movie, third movie, second movie, fourth movie, then the fifth movie. That's how I would rank it. And to me, part 3 is the last one. That's cool, Blu-ray. That's cool. Thanks for joining the stream, man. I'm just happy you're here, man. I'm glad you're doing good, man. That's good, you know. That's good. Thanks for being on the stream, bro. You're a cool guy. Thanks for being here, man. Just chilling out, man. Should have ended the part. I agree, bro. I agree, dude. I couldn't even say it better. I could not even say it, but I think I just broke those. I don't give a fuck. So we had some weird things happen tonight, guys. We had throwing DVDs across the room. We're talking about brain-eating zombies. My poster moved off the wall. My disc committed suicide and it won't even play anymore. I don't gotta destroy it. I'm not even gonna destroy it. It did itself. So yay me. But yeah. To get to the positives, I want to end the stream on a positive and say thank you guys so much for being on here. I hope I provided some laughs for you guys. I hope I did a good job. Thumbs up, maybe, you know. I'm just joking, but hopefully did a good job. Hopefully I entertained you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been fun. I love the first Return of the Living Dead as well as part 3. I just want to thank you guys so much for being here in the stream. I had a lot of people watching tonight. If y'all was wondering, you're gonna have to have aneurysm, calm down. Like, no, it's all right. It's all right. Most of them always need to destroy a shitty movie. It really does clean the system out. You know what I mean? But it's been fun. It's been an adventure. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been badass, good. I'm sorry we couldn't talk a little bit more, but I had to get these streams up because it if I didn't do it, I would never got these up. And it was fun doing this. I mean, it was really fun. I'm glad that you guys joined. Thank you so much for being on here. It was fun to join some horror movies, some shitty ass horror movies in front of you guys, and hopefully you guys had some laughs. Thank you for watching, and the Explorer of Horror is out. Return of the Living Dead kicks ass. I'll see you guys later. Thank you. Bye, y'all. Have a good night. Don't watch Return of the Living Dead Part 4 or 5. The more you know.